Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Above the Rim Rundown, where we run down all things NBA. I am one of your hosts, Memo, and right beside me, I've got Hoops. How you doing?
What's going on, man? Overall, I've been doing good. A little bit of a crazy week at work, I will say. Been pretty busy, and
Oh,
some days had to get off a little bit later. But overall, I would say, obviously, per usual, pros and cons. Pro is get paid a little bit more, so that's not bad.
that's always a
Con
dub.
is, yeah, con would be being a lot more exhausted in the evening.
I get that.
So yeah, I would say overall I don't mind it because need the bread financially. But
You and me
yeah,
both.
definitely. Yeah, I feel you. Probably don't want to be doing that every day per se, but like a few days a week is fine. Yeah. Aside from that, I've been just getting through in life. How's everything been going with you?
Good, just being busy with all the work I've got to do. I get a week break next week. It's so like needed. I need the break. I'll be just working on some stuff for school, cleaning around the house. I know my parents want to put their Christmas lights up soon, so I'm gonna help them with that. And yeah, just trying to be productive in other ways during my break, while also getting some rest, which is what I desperately need. Today, this morning, almost like had a heart attack because last night I forgot to charge my phone and put my alarms. So
Oh shit.
and like I needed to be there like early. I usually leave the house at like 6:45. Uh, and I woke up at 6:19 just naturally, no alarms or anything. It was like
Ooh, lucky.
a true miracle that I woke up at 6:19 a.m. this morning with my phone at 1%, enough
Oh
percentage
shit.
for me to check the time. It's like I was so scared, but luckily, like I had to skip breakfast and everything. I didn't eat my first meal till like 3 today, but uh, you know, I was just glad I was able to make it on time, like make it at a reasonable time.
Yeah, I'm glad you were able to make it in time, and thankfully looked like God was on your side today.
For sure this
Um
time. Oh my god, it was
because
so scary.
it was it sounds like it was set for disaster, but God's grace made everything work in your favor. Not the way you wanted, but at least you were not late. Um were you able to charge your phone either on the way driving or like maybe like charge in class?
Yeah, I always charge my phone in the car. Like that's how I connected to the Apple CarPlay. So,
Yeah, that's
uh,
good.
yeah, it was charging the whole time as I was driving there, and it's always like a 30-minute drive. So it was able to like charge pretty good.
That's good. Yeah, I would say like for situations like that, the superchargers are definitely very helpful because they are able to like charge up your phone like pretty quick when situations like that when it's low. But yeah, I'd say regular charger probably depends on the cord and depends on the outlet, but
Oh yeah,
it's good you're able to.
it depends on the box. Like the box I have, like my go-to charger is like a really great, like supercharge charger. I guess I don't know how to say that. So like I plugged it in for 5 minutes this morning, and it was at 10%, and I was it was a quick charge, and then I just took it with me wherever I went. So if I need when I went to the bathroom to like do my hair and stuff, I charged it and was able to charge a good amount. Um, so I do have a pretty fast charger that comes in very handy. Sometimes my sisters would come in and just borrow it if they need to leave soon because they know it will charge fast.
That's good. And yeah, honestly, I could also understand like not charging it at night because like if it's at 100 and it's still connected to the outlet, then it's not good for the battery life. But I know that you didn't do it on purpose though.
No,
So
I don't
yeah,
even know what happened. I think I was watching a video and then I fell asleep.
yeah, I've been there, done that before. Um, and I'm pretty sure I've had situations where I forgot to put on the alarm, but I was also fortunate enough to get up on natural causes.
Yeah,
So yes,
I don't know how that happens. Like, I feel like every time I forget to put my alarms and I need to wake up early, I still wake up early enough to go where I need to go on time. So I don't know how, like, our body just knows, I guess. It's weird.
yeah, sounds like it. Another thing I don't like is when like waking up maybe like 10 to 15 minutes before your alarm. So then it's like you want to sleep more, but you feel like it might be risky.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it's like, fuck, I guess I'll just close my eyes, but try not to fall asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, like,
Um,
you wake up after your alarm and you don't have any other alarms and you're like, oh, you know what, I'll close my eyes for 5 minutes and it's been an hour.
oh, yeah, yeah, those are the worst. I definitely had times I wanted to do that, but then I'd be remind myself, oh shit, I gotta go to work in a bit. I guess I can't. So I just like will myself to hop out of the bed even when I really don't want to. It's
I
hard,
usually
but
do that during the weekend, so it's not like a huge issue, but then I'm
yeah,
less
same.
productive in the mornings, I guess.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm glad you were able to handle go through your day with no problems at the end. But shall we get to some hoops now? Total pun intended.
Yeah, I'm down. We could start off by going through the standings. We're gonna, keep with the same routine. Go through the standings, then go through our WNL list. I believe it's my turn with the West Coast, the best coast. Is that right?
I think so, yeah.
All right, so I'll get started with number 15, the Pelicans, who just fired their coach this past week. Um, and yeah, there's a good reason why they have a 2-13 record, so that's not good. Kings are at 14 with a 3-13 record. It's a shit show over there, dude. like so bad. At 13, Mavericks 4-12. Clippers at 12 with a 4-11 record. Grizzlies at 11 with a 5-11 record. Jazz at 10 with a 5-9 record. Trailblazers at 9 with a 6-9 record. Nice. 8 is the Warriors with a 9-8 record. The Suns are at 7 with a 9-6 record. The Timberwolves are at 6 with a 10-5 record. Spurs at 5 with 11-4 record. Also with an 11-4 record are the Los Angeles Lakers with that are in the fourth seed. Rockets at third with a 10-3 record. Nuggets at second with an 11-3 record. And the Thunder are, of course, on top with a 15-1 record.
And now on to the Eastern Conference. At number 15, we got the Wizards at 1-13. At number 14, we got the Pacers at 2-13. At number 13, we got the Nets at 2-12. 12 Hornets, 4-11. 11 Bucks, 8-8. 10 Celtics, 8-7. 9 Magic, 9-7. 8 Hawks, 9-7. 7 Bulls, 8-6. 6 Sixers, 9-6. 5 Heat, 9-6. 4 Cavs, 10-6. 3 Knicks, 9-5. Number 2, the Raptors at 10-5. And sitting atop the Eastern Conference is the Detroit Pistons at 13-2. So those would be the NBA standings 4 weeks into this season.
Yeah, it's very interesting seeing how the East is doing better than the West. Like the bottom of the East is like piss poor, like very shit, dookie.
Yeah.
But like the 10th seed is above 500. The 11th seed is at 500. And then the rest is horrible. And for the
Yeah.
West, the 8th seed and up are above 500. Below is below 500, which is
Yeah.
interesting.
I would say like yeah, probably the right way to say it is like Eastern Conference has a better balance versus like Western Conference has a better like um top seeds record. That's
Yeah,
probably a way to go. Yeah. And quick side note. Obviously last week we had a little bit of a friendly ask about like which one of those bottom three teams in the East would win the first. I said Pacers, you said Wizards. It ended up being neither of them. It was the Nets that won first.
it
So
was the Nets. And the
that's
Wizards
funny.
still
Also,
don't have another win. They only
yeah,
have
because the
one.
the Pacers ended up winning their last game yesterday, I think. And
Recently, yeah.
then yeah, and then the Nets win happened to be against the
Against the
Wizards and
Wizards.
in Washington and destroyed them by like damn near 30. That was pretty like a little bit unexpected. I mean, the Tank Bowl, you would think maybe be a little bit close, but not even close. And probably the team that people thought would uh, win ended up being the one that got destroyed. So that's funny. And that would have probably been like a meaningless bet if we did it because no one would have won it.
Yeah,
So I don't
that's
know how
true.
that would have went.
We would have
Unless like we
both
both
lost.
we both lose, so we both have to pay. That would have been entertainment for the viewers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Anyways,
definitely need to make some kind of wager soon. It'll be fun, but
yeah,
uh,
we'll come up with something for
yeah,
sure.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, I guess we can now go to the W list. Um, I think that a good way to start with W list is none other than the Pistons, who are the number one seed in the Eastern Conference. Now they have a 13-2 record, as mentioned earlier, and win streak now extends to 11 games. And some of their top wins during the win streak were versus the Magic, at Philly, and versus Philly. So they beat the Sixers twice during the win streak. One of them was an NBA Cup game, and it was also without Cade Cunningham. So that was pretty impressive. So yeah, Pistons have been doing nothing but winning lately, and that's why they are a well-deserved, once again, W list candidate.
yeah. It's like very incredible to see that growth with that team, seeing how they lost like 28 games in a row like a couple years ago, to now having an 11 game win streak. We were talking about how impressive their win streak was last week, and they just extended it this week. Cade Cunningham definitely looking like an all NBA player. Maybe in the MVP table. It's hard to say. There's some stiff competition for sure. But, there's an argument to be made for Cade, especially since, the Pistons are number one in the East at the moment. And then, yeah, not only Cade, though, like, Jalen Duren is looking like an all-star caliber player out there. It's actually very impressive, like how much he's grown, and how he has impacted the team as well. So yeah, shout out to the Pistons. Obviously, they're doing great things over there. I'm surprised. I'm definitely surprised about all this. I knew they were gonna be good, but number one in the East, and like it seems real. It didn't seem like the Bulls, number one seed earlier this season, even though I was starting to believe in it. Um, this one seems a little bit more real. We'll see if they stay number one, but things can happen. But I could see this team being number one by the end of the year. I just believe in Cade that much, and you know what's funny? I thought it was so weird when we did our NBA players ranking, and you had Cade as a top 10 NBA player going into the season. And I thought that was weird, but you kind of got it on this one. He is looking like a top 10 NBA player.
Yeah, it looks like it. I mean, I guess when I initially made that list, part of it might have been a little bit of like high optimism on Cade. Another part of it may have been like I think he can make a jump. Even I will admit, like I didn't expect his jump to be this drastic. So yeah, so far that prediction has been looking good, and so have the Pistons. And Also agreed, like I knew they were gonna be good. I didn't expect them to be this good. And granted, like sure, one can say like, oh, look at their opponents. Did they beat any like super legit teams? They beat some good teams, and so we'll see as their schedule keeps progressing. Like maybe if they play some more of those top powerhouses in the Western Conference, because like Eastern Conference teams are kind of looking very mediocre right now. Like a good consistency record throughout, but like the teams that we expected to be good have been like kind of shaky. But yeah, I think the Pistons for sure have been like definitely holding their ground, and they might be able to maintain and potentially make a deep run in the playoffs. So yeah, shout out to them.
Yes, shout out to the Pistons. Should we move on to the next team?
Yeah, so I think now we can move on to the next team, who happens to be the number 2 seed currently in the Eastern Conference by shock for sure.
Yeah, this was even more
Toronto,
shocking than the Pistons
yeah,
for sure.
more shocking. And that's the Toronto Raptors, 10-5. 5-game win streak, won 9 out of 10 overall. That only loss being a loss in Philly. But overall, the Raptors have been like definitely proving me wrong. I mean, like, I thought they would probably not even make the play in, be one of the bottom teams in the Eastern Conference. And here they are sitting atop second in the Eastern Conference 4 weeks into the season. Pretty impressive. Um, some of their top wins during their 9 out of 10 stretch, 9-1 stretch include 2 wins at Cleveland, a blowout win against the Bucks at home, and they were able to get their payback on the Sixers on the road earlier this week. So, yeah, Raptors have been looking really good, and I'm happy for them. I mean, overall, I've definitely always liked the Raptors historically. I think that cool mascot, cool city, um, have had some cool uniforms in the past, and yeah, they've been looking good, and hopefully they can keep it up.
Yeah, I wish I had more to say. I'm not gonna lie, I've not been paying attention to the Raptors. Like when I saw you write this in the notes, I couldn't believe it. Like I truly had no idea what was going on up there in Canada. But 10-5, how did that happen? They were like one of the losers of like the first couple weeks of the
Yep,
season, I believe, and now they have a 10-5 record. That's incredible. 9 out of
it
10
is.
wins. That's insane. That's crazy. So at the moment, like their roster is an expensive roster, and when you look at it, it doesn't seem too impressive either. Like R.J. Barrett, Brandon Ingram, Scotty Barnes being the best player, Emmanuel Quickly, Jakob Pertl. Like that lineup doesn't seem that impressive, but they're winning. They're winning.
Yeah,
So they're paying all this money, and it's leading to some wins. So shout out to the Raptors, I guess. Shout out to Scotty Barnes. I saw this very funny play where it was. I think it was today. Whenever they faced Philly, I just saw it on Twitter recently. I forgot when I saw it. I think I saw it today.
Wednesday they
Wednesday?
played the
Was
Sixers.
it Wednesday?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
So
Wednesday.
I think he stole the ball, and he was running, and Jared McCain was near him. And before he went for the dunk, he, gave like a little smooch towards Jared McCain, and then dunked the ball so random as hell. But it was so funny.
Yeah, Scotty Barnes is hilarious, man.
He's awesome.
Yeah, I love Scotty Barnes. Obviously, there's a lot of memes for him for, I guess, other reasons, which I will not go into, but like I am definitely a very big fan of his, and it's like, um, who cares about like those other side stuff? If he's a damn good basketball player, that's all irrelevant. So yeah, shout out to Scotty and the Raptors for proving. Um, the league wrong so far.
Yeah, let's see if they keep it up. Um,
Definitely.
the next team we've got is the Orlando Magic. What do you want to say about the Magic?
So Magic has been on a roll also. Um, After starting the season poor, 1-4 start, they have now won 8 of their last 11 games, sitting at 9-7, and being climbing up to the ninth seed now, which is kind of crazy that they're only the ninth seed, but I'm sure they'll only go up from here. And some of their top wins during the win streak, or the some of their top wins during this stretch happen to be versus the Celtics, Knicks, and the Warriors. So yeah, Magic have been now looking more like the team that we expected them to look like after a slow start.
Yeah, for sure their defense is looking like Magic defense from like the past couple seasons. So that's good that that is still great. There was some concerns earlier this season, but it's looking good so far. And correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Paulo injured as well? Or like, aren't they winning these games with Paulo out?
He is injured, yeah. Though I don't know how many games he's been out for though.
But like, he has been out for a bit.
He has been out at least like minimum 1 to 2 games, possibly more, and yet they're still winning. So that only makes it more impressive for sure.
Right, right. So th- what I think is interesting, I feel like last year they had a good stretch when Paulo was out as well, and when Franz was playing, like early in the season. So there's kind of a pattern there. When Paulo's
Yeah,
out, they start playing pretty well.
it's
Um,
kind of crazy
a little
because I
sus.
remember it is, yeah. Because I remember the other way around when Franz was down, but Paula was still in. The Magic was struggling for a little bit. But this time, Franz is still in, but Paula was out, and for some reason, they're looking like no different, still winning games. So, yeah, definitely a little bit interesting there for sure. Um, I wouldn't say that they're better without him, though. I feel like that's definitely a
Yeah, I don't want
stretch.
to go that far, but it's like it's something to look out for.
Definitely. But yeah, Magic have been looking like they are back on track now, so that is good. Hopefully they can keep it up.
Yeah. Next team.
Yeah. So now we can move on to the Western Conference. Sitting atop the entire NBA, Oklahoma City Thunder, none other than the defending champs. They are now on a 7 game win streak. Obviously, the only loss was against the Trailblazers. And during the 7 game win streak, two of their two wins that really stood out to me was destroying Warriors and Lakers in back-to-back games, and reigning champs still looking like what they were a year ago. Right now, I think that maybe the only other team that could be debated for like who's the best in the league right now, possibly the Pistons, virtue record. But aside from that, I feel like OKC is undoubtedly the number one in the league right now, both not just record wise, but just how they've been looking overall.
And unfortunately, it doesn't even look close at the moment. Like, seeing that Thunder Lakers game was very eye opening and very depressing because this has been such a great start to the season for the Lakers. We're gonna be talking about them soon in the W list once again because they've been having such a great season, and yet when they played the Thunder, it was oh my god, it
It wasn't
was
even close,
exactly.
bro.
It wasn't even close. There was huge difference between the two teams and like the amount of talent both teams had on their team. Like you can tell which one's a championship team and which one's a playoff team. And unfortunately, our Lakers are not a championship team at the moment. Hopefully, they'll get there, especially since LeBron is back. who knows if that will change a lot for the Lakers, like change for the better, um, in like a drastic way. I would hope so, but you know, it'll be tough trying to beat the Thunder, but
Yeah,
anything's possible, I guess. But yeah, it'll be tough.
yeah, that's true. Um, I missed that game, but by just like tracking the score, it was definitely like very definitely frustrating for sure. The most frustrating part about it is that OKC was actually a little bit shorthanded that game. Like no J Dub, somehow didn't matter. Still ended up winning easily. Um, but yeah, hopefully, with LeBron back, after he gets back in the groove, the Lakers can level up to possibly being a little bit more legit contenders per se. But we'll get to them soon. Um,
One more thing.
is there anything else you want to talk about for OKC, or should we move on to the next team?
Yeah, I just wanted to add, like, you kind of just mentioned it, but just to emphasize that the fact that they have a 15-1 record and they look like the obvious, like, best team in the league, and they're doing this without their second best player, Jalen Williams, playing the entire season so far. Like, he has not stepped on the court at all. That's incredible. It's very shocking that they've been this dominant without J Dub. So it's gonna be scary once he's back. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. That's a fact.
Yeah. So we could now move on to the next team, which is the Houston Rockets.
Yeah. So once again, Rockets for a second straight week on a W list. Big reason why? 5 game win streak, won 10 of 11 overall. That only loss being a loss at the Spurs about 2 weeks ago. And they had some impressive wins during the win streak as well, beating some good to decent teams. Um, they won at Boston, at Milwaukee versus the Magic, and at Cleveland. So, yeah, Rockets have been looking really good recently, and they are currently the third seed in the Western Conference.
Yeah, I think they just surpassed the Lakers in the seedings, right? Recently.
Um, Technically, I think due to win percentage, even though like the Lakers played more games than them, 10-3 versus 11-4. Um, so they're both like 3.5 games behind OKC, but because the Rockets win percentage is higher, they are technically, yeah, higher than the Lakers in the standings right now, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And I was gonna mention, actually tomorrow, a pretty good NBA Cup game is gonna be Nuggets and the Rockets.
Ooh,
Um,
that'll be exciting to watch.
yeah, definitely. And I guess the question as Lakers fans is who would we rather have win? Because one of them losing is definitely good for us potentially moving up a spot. Honestly, I think I'd rather the Nuggets win.
Yeah, it's easier to pass the Rockets than the Nuggets at the moment. So
Definitely.
yeah,
And quite honestly, I just like the Nuggets better as a
me
team
too.
too, since they're
Me
both the
too.
best. Yeah.
Even though
But
the
unfortunately,
Nuggets always torch the Lakers, but
I know, yeah, crazy. We'll see how we match with them this year. But yeah, that shall be a good game for sure to watch.
and I just realized my hair looks like Reed Shepherd's hair right now. I got
Oh,
like the Bieber cut.
yeah, that's funny. I didn't really think that through, but now that you mention it, I can see it. But yeah, anything else about the Rockets, or shall we move on to the next team?
Let's talk about the next team. We gotta talk about our Lakers. They had a pretty good week.
There. So, yeah, Lakers on a W list. They are currently sitting at fourth in the Western Conference with an 11-4 record. Currently on a 3 game win streak, wins versus Pelicans, Bucks, and Jazz. Um, The win against Milwaukee was definitely very impressive because we blew the Bucks out like so bad. I was shocked for sure. Like I expected like a closer game, second half of back to back, and it was just a cakewalk for the Lakers. So that was fun to watch. Um, and then obviously the Jazz game, LeBron's first game of the season. That game was not pretty for like 3 quarters. Jazz led by as much as 15, I believe. Lakers did were looking like they weren't taking the game seriously, and it's like, what are we doing? We should be better than this. This is one of the worst teams in the Western Conference and or in the league. We should be blowing them out. And it was just a dogfight through 3 quarters. Finally, in the fourth quarter, Lakers were able to pull away and they were able to win by 15. So that was good. LeBron in his first game, he was a little bit rusty, had a slow start, and it was definitely not very LeBron like. But I'm pretty confident, like after a few games, getting his legs down in getting some more reps, I'm sure he'll be back to where the LeBron we all know. So yeah, so overall, Lakers have been pretty good this season. Hope they can maintain it. Um, a little bit wild is the fact that their last game was on against the Jazz on Tuesday, and they don't play again until Saturday. So NBA just randomly or Sunday, I believe, actually, NBA just randomly gave them 4 full days of rest before the next game.
Damn.
So hopefully take advantage of the rest. But obviously, of course, that could also lead to like rust in the team. So yeah. But like, honestly, like this time of the season, I think is not bad though. If it's playoffs, I feel like that would be more of a risk. But yeah, so far so good. Hope they keep it going.
Yeah, very cool to see that the king is back. LeBron James is on the court. As he said, he was rusty, but like, he's coming back from injury. Um, he hasn't played for a long time. He was in the G League for a second, while his son was starting for the Lakers. That was interesting. But
Yeah.
yeah, he came back and broke records. He now has the most. What? That's hold on. He now surpassed. Who was it? Vince Carter for the most seasons played. Or
I think so.
Vince Carter, right? With
Um,
23 seasons in a row. Um,
yeah,
he
that's
also
impressive.
surpassed Reggie Miller for 6 all time in the 3 points made list. He somehow broke that in his first game. That's kind of funny, the timing of it
Yeah.
all. Even though he again didn't have his best game, right? He was definitely rusty. Was barely able to continue his double digit points streak that he's had since like the mid 2000s or something like that, or late 2000s. Like the long ass streak. Um, but he was able to get that done. So it's cool having LeBron back. Uh, Now we gotta see how all these players mesh together, since LeBron is healthy, and see like if the Lakers can reach that like championship level team, which is what we are hoping for. We want to see it happen, obviously, as Lakers fans. But yeah, I'm just very happy with this team and very excited about the direction that they're going. Even though like this past summer, I was ranting, I was angry, I was like all pissed because I thought the off season was horrible. Like having DeAndre Ayton as our biggest acquisition, I thought was like the worst thing in the world. Turns out he's been amazing. He's been great for the Lakers. He had maybe like 1 or 2 bad games, but other than that, he's been everything I've been wanting uh, to see from Ayton. He's been able to do it. So I gotta give credit where it's due. He has been amazing. I shouldn't have been calling him soft so many times during the off season, because yeah, he's rocking it right now. Laravia. I didn't know who he was when we signed him, and now like I'm a big fan. Like he's killing it. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm happy to see this team, and I get so excited watching our Lakers now that like I just like messaged you earlier this week how like I really want to see them this year. Like last year, we didn't have a chance to see them. I forgot why we didn't get to. We usually go at least once a year.
Multiple reasons, I think.
Probably. This year, like even though money's tight for me right now, like we gotta
Uh-huh.
go. We gotta go because I
I
want to
agree.
see Luca play. I want to see Austin Reeves continue to kill it. This could be one of our last chances to see LeBron as well. You never know when
That's
he
true.
will retire. So, yeah, we gotta go sometime this season.
Definitely. Like I absolutely do want to go this year and we'll make it happen. Um I guess we'll have to be selective, see if there's any like more affordable matchups per se, and we'll go from there. Like we definitely do have to go this year though. I definitely agree with you.
Yeah. So hopefully we make that happen.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
Last W, a quick W. Vucci baby. Vucci main. Nikola Vucevic with his second game winner of the year? What the hell is going on? He made a game winning three recently. I forgot against who. I'm
I think it was
blanking.
against the Sixers.
Sixers? I,
I
I
believe so.
I think so. I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kobe White had this like crazy weird pass. It's always the guards in Chicago with these insane passes to Vucevic 4-3 for a game winner. It was literally deja vu from his earlier game winner where Josh Giddey was driving in the lane, had this crazy pass to Vuce for the win. So, question is Nikola Vucevic clutch player of the year? Is that stamped? It's that are we done here? It's like like should Nikola Vucevic win the award? Should we just call it now?
Um I mean, so far so good. I think it's possible. I mean, at this pace, if he's gonna do like even one or two more, I think there's a very good chance. So yeah, um, I would say definitely he is the leading horse in the race right now.
Yeah, yeah, probably. Um, that's an interesting question. So I know like for clutch play of the year, they usually look at like the statistics, like the amount of points you score in the fourth quarter and like the final 5 minutes during clutch time, stuff like that. But like, if a player doesn't score a lot of points during clutch time, but has like 8 game winners in a season, should they just automatically win it? I don't. I feel like
That's
that's a
definitely
good case.
that's a good case for sure. I would honestly argue yes, because like that's a lot of game-winning shots, and like look, even if that player hasn't necessarily scored a lot of points in the clutch time frame, if that's what you want to call it, and another player scores like hundreds, but yet didn't make any like game deciding shots, while the other make like actual game winners. Personally, I would pick the guy that makes the actual game winning shots to alter the result of the game. So, yeah, I would say definitely should be a good case in that situation. I don't know how the league would handle it, but personally, I believe they should.
Yeah, we'll see. You know, it's a new award, so I'm just making up stuff right now. But I'm sure that situation might happen one year where like there's a player that scored a lot more points in the clutch, but then another player had like 10 game winners in a year or something crazy like that. So it'll be hard for voters to choose who actually deserves the award. Um, but yeah, shout out Nikola Vucevic. Very random. Very random.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking of which, I guess on the topic of game winners, I didn't watch the video, but I did see there was like a thumbnail NBA uploaded 6 buzzer beaters in 30 days. So that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Oh, I'm usually good at remembering all of these. Did we cover them last week? We covered a few last week, I think. I don't know.
I think we did cover a few. Off the top of my, oh yeah, there was that one week that had like 3 game winners and was in the span of like 2 3 days, I believe, right? So
Yeah.
that's half of them right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, um,
And I think last week was the week where Wiggins and Bain had a game winner on the same night.
oh yeah, that's right.
So that might add on to it.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Lots of game winners. That's awesome. What isn't
True.
awesome?
Oh
Oh, go
yeah,
on,
I
go on.
will say, they since they wrote buzzer beaters, I don't know if that excludes like game winning shots where there's more time remaining. I think it does. So there's probably more game winning shots, but they only included
Mm,
buzzer beaters. So that makes things even more interesting. Potentially there's even more.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, my bad for interrupting you at the end.
No, no worries. I was just gonna jump into a icky way to start off our L list, which is this new Patrick Beverley news. He recently has been arrested for assaulting his 15-year-old sister. Apparently, he choked her for something I think is kind of stupid. So, apparently, I think what was said in the article I was reading, um, the USA Today, I was reading that uh, his mom contacted Beverly because his sister, who was 15, snuck out to go with her 18-year-old boyfriend. So the mother got Patrick involved to like deal with that, and instead of confronting the 18-year-old guy, he went after his 15-year-old sister, who is the victim in this situation. She is the minor. I know the guy is 18, but he's technically an adult. So why are you going after your minor sister, who in this situation is the victim, like on a legal standpoint, instead of the 18-year-old guy that is dating your underage sister? That's a weird move, in my opinion. That's honestly gross. And yeah, he ended up squeezing her neck, causing her to feel pain, felt a loss of oxygen, and was not able to breathe. This is fucked up. Like, Patrick Beverly, I've never liked him, except for the one time he was a Laker and had like the camera in his hand. That was fun, but I've never been a fan of his. I thought it was weird that he
Either.
played for an Israeli team, especially during these times as well. Um, and yeah, this is by far like the worst thing he's done, and it's honestly disgusting.
Yeah, definitely a loss for words on this one for sure. The fact that his sister was supposedly the victim, but yet he did that to her, definitely really dumb. And unfortunately, I can't necessarily say I'm shocked that he did this because he just seems to be like the type of guy that would do this type of action. Um, Obviously, Patrick Beverly, he's definitely a dirty player for sure for some of the things he does. Maybe more of an annoying player than like dirty per se, but definitely has had like dirty moments for sure. Like obviously primarily to like Russ and Damian Lillard before eventually becoming teammates with both of them, funny enough. But yeah, never really was a fan of his either. Obviously when he was a Laker, we had to root for him a little bit, unfortunately. But that didn't last long. He was only there for like half a season before he had the boot. So yeah, going back to this topic though, definitely very sickening news to hear, and he definitely deserves to serve some time for that, I think, or at least some other punishment.
Yeah, I don't know what would uh, be the punishment for this, but he's rich, so I don't think he's gonna get some jail time. But we'll
Yeah,
see.
it's
We'll
not
see.
even gonna affect him, I don't think.
Yeah, it might not even do that. Like, there's NBA players who beat their wives and they're still playing in the NBA, so he might be
Yeah,
fine.
it yeah, it just doesn't make sense how like the M like sports in general, not just NBA, they they like apparently think that like sports betting and like drug use is worse than physical abuse, which doesn't make sense because like obviously those two are bad, but like you're not physically hurting another person by doing those two versus like this type of stuff they're actually like assaulting another person and putting another person's life potentially in jeopardy, and yet they hardly even get punished for these. Makes no sense, but I guess that's just how these leagues operate for some dumb reason.
You're speaking facts right now. That's what I've been saying for the longest time. I think it's so
Exactly.
backwards. Uh,
Crazy.
yeah, insane.
Yep. Anyways, shall we move on to the first team on the L list?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, and that would be Patrick Beverley's former team, the Clippers. Now they have a 4-11 record, losing 9 of their last 10. Their only win during that stretch was last Friday versus the Mavs in an NBA Cup where they barely won in overtime. And worst part about it for them, still no word on Kawhi Leonard's injury status. He is still out and is looking like he's out indefinitely, meaning could be still a long time potentially before he returns. No one knows. But yeah, Clippers have been looking absolute garbage lately. And me personally, obviously, I predicted them to like struggle. I didn't expect, but even then, like I didn't expect them to struggle this badly. And sure, like Kawhi is out and all. Last year, the Clippers were able to hold their ground when Kawhi was out. I know that it's a different team, it's a much older team now, but like you if you told me that Kawhi was going to be out for this stretch, I would have definitely expected the Clippers to be over 4-11. And I think that the most hilarious part about this all is that the Clippers don't have a pick. And like imagine if they really end up imagine if OKC somehow end up getting the number one pick because of the Clippers.
I would
Like,
throw up.
yeah, that would only be another reason to hate the Clippers even more, honestly. Like we already don't like that team. And then you're gonna if you're gonna be responsible for OKC potentially getting a number one pick, like man, you deserve all the hate possible, and I would not feel bad for them one bit. Like, yeah, Clippers definitely messed up big time there. But yeah, things are not looking good for them, and I don't really see things getting much better anytime soon.
Yeah, like you called it from the beginning. You thought they were gonna be ass and they're ass. Like it should have been obvious because their team is so old, but like those old players are talented, but they are old.
They
So
are,
like
yeah,
yeah, this like the rabbit meme with the clock, like pointing at the clock. That's what the Clippers are. That's that's
yeah,
basically represents the Clippers. It's just a ticking
definitely.
time bomb,
Um,
just age catching up to everybody.
yeah,
James
um,
Harden has been
the
amazing, but you know
yeah, he's like one of their only bright spots, seemingly,
it's not leading
which is
to
crazy.
wins, but
Yeah,
he,
not leading the wins.
he's playing great.
Speaking of which, the Lakers do play the Clippers next week in NBA Cup game, and I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully, we kick their ass.
Easy eats.
I Yeah, I swear, if we somehow, some way lose that game, I'm gonna lose it. Like that better not happen. Oh
It's
my
not
god,
gonna happen. Easy eats,
it's not gonna
cornbread,
happen. No, no,
catfish,
no. It won't.
barbecue
It won't. It will
chicken.
not happen. Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of which, I mean, I guess I'll just do a quick little NBA Cup talk just because we're at it. Lakers definitely should have no excuse not to go 4-0 in group play because they're already 2-0. Their last two are against the Clippers and the Mavs, who are both horrible, and they're both at home. So like, yeah, just wanted to put that out there real quick. But yeah, Clippers been looking horrible. Not seeing them get any better. And shall we move on to the next team now?
Yeah, let's jump to the next team, which is the Grizzlies, who's been one of the worst teams, one of the teams we've been talking about a lot in the L list. And we're
Yep.
continuing that this week.
Yeah, so 5-11 record, only 2 wins since Halloween. They did win today against the Kings in a shockingly dominant 41-point win. And the other win, like the Clippers, was also against the Mavs. NBA Cup game week prior to the Clippers beating the Mavs in the NBA Cup. But yeah, overall, this team has been so bad ever since that Halloween game when Luca humbled the Grizzlies and John Morant got angry at the media and it led to suspension. Speaking of which, Ja is now out due to injury, which is even worse, and he's supposed to be out for 2 weeks, which it's already been like almost a week. So I guess getting there slowly but surely. But yeah, Grizzlies have not been looking good, and they're another team that is on disappointment right now.
Yeah, for sure, one of the most disappointing teams of the year. Like when we made our seating predictions video, this was one of the teams that gave me a hard time because, they have the talent to beat a top six seed, but they're clearly not playing like that. John Morant has been, I wouldn't say a disaster, but he's been disappointing on the court, and now that he's injured again, it's like his time's up. Like his time with Memphis is up. They gotta trade him ASAP. Well, I would say ASAP, but his like trade value is at like an all time low. They need to build that
Yeah,
trade value up again because I don't think their return would be that good if they try to trade him now, especially since he's injured. But yeah, very disappointing. Um, I heard this debate a few weeks ago. Ever since I forgot who said this, but they said that ever since Dylan Brooks left the team, the Grizzlies lost their identity and ended up being like a shit show. I kind of agree, honestly. Like we saw
yeah,
his impact with the Rockets as soon as he got there with Fred VanVleet. They improved a lot. They kind of got an edge to them, and they ended up winning more and more games. It hasn't really been translating to the Suns at the moment, but he just got there.
yeah.
But do you agree with that? Maybe it's a wild take, giving a lot of
Um,
credit to Dylan Brooks.
you know, I hate to say it honestly, but I think it's true. I mean, like Dylan Brooks is not no like massive game-changing player per se, but like he seemingly was a key part of the Grizzlies' identity, and like unfortunately that is a fact. I mean, like 2023 was the last year that the Grizzlies were top of the Western Conference, and then obviously 2023-2024 season was the one lost season when Ja was out most of the year. Grizzlies were one of the bottom teams in the Western Conference. And then last year, Grizzlies started the year strong, but then fell all the way to the A seed after some injuries. And yeah, this year they've just been looking bad. So looks like trend does lean towards the fact that Dylan Brooks leaving has been the lost cause for the Grizzlies. So even though I'm not necessarily a Dylan Brooks fan at all, um, sounds right. They lost their identity after he left.
Yeah, I kind of like Dylan Brooks in a way. I kind of like Dylan Brooks. Um, there's a JPEG Mafia song that shouted out Dylan Brooks. It's kind of fire. It's how he started off his album that I really love. He started off his album by saying, "I'm just like Dylan Brooks, but worse." Just like emphasizing that like he's like an evil villain basically at the beginning of the album.
That's funny.
Yeah, I always thought that was a funny line. It's just like a menacing way to start off the album. But yeah, enough Dylan Brooks talk. We can move on to the next team, which is the Mavs.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, Mavs are another team, long mentioned, struggling, disappointment to the year, 4-12. And speaking of which, we mentioned the Grizzlies and Clippers on the L list just now. They lost. The Mavs lost to both of them in NBA Cup games, um, which is obviously not good because those teams are also struggling and you couldn't beat either of them. Their only recent wins were a 6-point win at Washington and an overtime home win against the Blazers last weekend. Aside from that, Mavs have still been looking absolutely lost, and AD is still out for the indefinite future. Obviously, we all know Nico Harrison, long overdue, got fired, and yeah, this team has still been looking bad. So, uh, definitely worthy of being on this list. I will say I was a little bit shocked how close they were to almost beating the Knicks, but unfortunately, close is not good enough. They still lost that game, and they are sitting now 8 games below 500.
Yeah, so what a disastrous turn of events for the Mavs. It's gotta suck being a Mavs fan right now.
Yeah,
Like I don't even know what to say. Like every week, it's like they suck. They should have traded for AD. What was Nico doing? Like it's like I feel like we're gonna do that every week for the rest of the season, because they suck. Why they trade for AD? What was Nico doing? It's like it's getting repetitive at this point. But
it
yeah,
is.
we'll see what happens with this team. Maybe I heard rumors. Maybe they'll trade AD. I think I saw another rumor that like Mark Cuban doesn't want that to happen. I don't know what's gonna happen. Probably the best move is to trade AD, get some picks, and build around Cooper, and just make
I
this team
agree.
younger. Um, so yeah, I guess they should do that, but AD's injured. So I saw this crazy stat actually from Basketball Forever. DeAndre Ayton has more minutes as a Laker than Anthony Davis has for the Mavericks, even though
That's
he's been
crazy.
playing for the Mavericks longer than Ayton has for the Lakers. So,
That is definitely crazy.
it is.
Unfortunately, AD cannot beat those damn glass man allegations.
Yeah, I wish he could, man. Like I
Me
love
too.
AD, but
Yeah, I
man.
wish also. I know. It's definitely frustrating because, like, looking from afar, I'm also an AD fan and very appreciative of the championship that he was able to bring us. Um, but unfortunately, he just hasn't been able to get past the barriers there. Hopefully, he can eventually get over it and stay healthy. But so far, not a good start to his Mavs stint. Like when he played, he's been good, but he just hasn't been available, unfortunately.
Yeah. Last team that we've got to talk about, the Trailblazers. They're in the L list this week.
Yeah. And the reason being currently 3-game losing streak with a 6-8 record after a pretty good start to the season, including giving the Thunder their only loss, a 20-point comeback, which is was very impressive. Blazers have been struggling for the last 2 weeks. They have now lost 6 out of their last 7, and their only win was at New Orleans against the Pelicans, who are obviously not a good team. So yeah, I do not know what happened to the Blazers. They were looking very impressive to start the year, and now they are looking more like the team that we expected them to be when we predicted they would be towards the bottom of the Western Conference. So, yeah, it's been disappointing lately in Portland.
Yeah, honestly, I don't have much to say here. It's just like kind of what we expected. Just a bad team being a bad team. They're somewhat near 500. That's kind of like what I expected from them, like around that 500 mark. I was expecting a little bit better, like maybe slightly above 500. And there's still time, obviously, but like with how stacked the West is, like with the better teams, it's hard to imagine them big in a playoff picture. Play-in still possible, obviously, but the playoffs, I doubt it. They don't have the talent for it at the moment. Um, but yeah, we're almost done here. We'll move on to the next thing, which is the amount of injuries that has been going on recently. Like this week, it was announced that we already mentioned this, that John Morant is injured. He has a calf strain, out for 2 weeks. Victor Wembanyama is unfortunately going to be out for multiple weeks due to a left calf strain. The same injury as John. I don't know which leg for John, but they both have calf strains. Giannis is injured, out for 1 to 2 weeks with a groin injury. And there's so many other superstars that have been injured. We talked about AD, Kawhi, Trey Young has been injured, Paulo has been injured. There's been a lot of injuries, but if we focus on just like the three that were announced this week, Giannis, Victor Wembanyama, and Ja, which one of those do you think is like the biggest loss?
I would say Giannis, honestly, due to the fact that the Bucks roster, obviously as mentioned, is just not very talented per se, and Giannis was hard carrying them, and I don't know how many games has it been since he's been out, like 2 games maybe, something like that.
Giannis?
Yeah, or just one.
I think none. He got injured during his last game, so he had to leave early, I believe.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
I believe that's what I read.
Oh, I see.
So I don't think they've played a game without him, but that's gonna be a scary sight to see. It's like,
Yeah, definitely. And that would be why I chose his injury being the most biggest loss because already with Giannis playing, the Bucks have been like super up and down. I can only imagine how they would be without him like in the lineup for an extended period. It's definitely not looking very promising there for sure. Um, because for example, I think that the Spurs will definitely still be able to hold their ground um, without Wemby because they're just been looking like a pretty good team. The Grizzlies, no. But to be quite frank, they were already looking really bad when he was playing. Um, the Bucks, they were up and down and actually winning some games. So I would say losing him was a bigger loss. Speaking of which, though, I do want to mention the Bucks did happen to play their last game without Giannis. It was against the Sixers yesterday, actually Wednesday. And I say
oh,
yesterday
okay,
because
I was wrong
it
then.
struck midnight. But yeah, they played the Sixers at home and the game went to overtime, and unfortunately they ran out of gas and they lost by 9. But that was actually a respectable effort, to be honest. Sixers are pretty good in the Eastern Conference. Bucks almost beat them, and yeah, who knows? Maybe if they can hold their ground more often, they find a way to maintain ground in the Eastern Conference. Maybe stay in at least top 10 play-in territory. I mean, I know it's very early in the year, so maybe that's kind of irrelevant, but point being is if they can at least hold their ground a little bit during this 1 to 2 week span, that would be really good. Um, but that being said, I still think that Giannis' injury is the most significant loss here because of the fact that unlike the Grizzlies, who were already really bad, it was Ja in the lineup. The Bucks have been showing flashes of being good when Giannis has been here, and without him, it just is, as you mentioned, sounds like a scary sighting.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like it was definitely between those two. Like the Grizzlies, at this point, with or without Ja, they're gonna be mid. Um, so it was between Wemby and Giannis for sure, and I do think the Spurs have a more talented roster. So yeah, is definitely the bigger loss. Um, they got some decent players. Ryan Rollins is pretty good.
Yeah,
He's averaging 18 at the moment. He's probably gonna be the guy that will be taking the shots. Him and Kyle Kuzma, but yeah, like obviously they prefer Giannis out there, so hopefully he comes
obviously,
back
yeah.
soon, and ready to play. Um, Speaking of the Spurs, though, I watched the Spurs versus Warriors game earlier this week. And oh my god, when he dunked on Draymond, that was insane. Like they were like barking at each other. Like you could tell Draymond was trying to get under his skin and was shoving him. Uh, Wemby was shoving him back. They were kind of going at it, and then it was like they were getting ready for an inbound. And then once the ball was inbounded, Wemby just put his hand up, basically jumped a little bit, and just dunked it on Draymond's head, and just yelled in his face. It was awesome. So a quick loser of the week to Draymond for trying to provoke Wemby and ended up getting dunked on. It was great to see as a Draymond hater.
I agree for sure on that one. I just wish the Spurs won that damn game, bro. That's all. I don't know how the Warriors won, but aside from that, definitely agree with you. That was awesome play to see, and Draymond's definitely worthy of being the Elvis for that.
Yeah,
And if anything, Wemby also worthy of being on the W list for that. But unfortunately, he did get injured. But he'll be back strong once he is back.
he'll be back. Hopefully, he is back before like the what's called back so that he can still be eligible for awards. It would suck if it be like the second year in a row where he's like not eligible for
Yeah,
TPOY or All NBA, because he's talented enough to be in those conversations. So hopefully that won't be the case.
yeah, I agree. Definitely hope that he can be back before the he reaches that game threshold qualification. So yeah, I think that would be. Looks like we summed up everything from the Ellis, and I guess that's also our episode.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you would like to bring up before we go to our closer?
No, not really. We could just end it here, honestly. If you guys are on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, leave a comment, like the video. That would be great. Follow our socials, TikTok, Twitter. I haven't been posting. I might start posting again. I've been wanting to play some games on TikTok, so I might do that soon. And those are usually quick. So we'll see. If you are on an audio platform like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, make sure you leave us a 5-star rating and review. But yeah, anything you want to say before we head out?
Just want to say, per usual, thanks to the viewers for the constant support to our channel. We greatly appreciate it. If you guys like our content, make sure to continue to like, comment, subscribe, share. Follow us on all platforms. and stay tuned because we are the place to be as far as keeping track of the NBA weekly updates. And obviously, as the season goes, we're going to make sure to chime in with some fun special edition games, special edition episodes, and also make sure to stay on the lookout for wagers because we will come up with some good ones. But yeah, um, until next time, appreciate you guys and have a great rest of your day or evening.
Yeah, we'll see you all next week. Goodbye.